While many front offices out there playing checkers with their salary cap, the duo of general manager Ian Cunningham and Matt Ryan are proving they're the masters of high stakes chess, turning their free agency into a frenzy and a calculated masterclass in roster building. Now, whether it's finding that diamond in the rough or landing that blockbuster veteran, their ability to recruit and retain talent has transformed the team from a rebuilding project into a perennial destination. The GM's knack for structuring team-friendly deals that maintain future flexibility, we are winning that game. Welcome back, Falcons family. Welcome to another edition of Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. I'm your host, Cowboy, and if you thought the season was going to be quiet, the last 24 to 48 hours just proved us all wrong. So grab your coffee, lean in, because the trenches just got a massive facelift. So we got a bombshell the other day. Kaleb McGary retires. The news we didn't see coming after 6 seasons of anchoring that right side. Kaleb McGary is officially hanging it up. You know, since being drafted in the first round in 2019, Gary was the definition of iron. Of 93 games, he started at 92, served at the cornerstone of our top 10 rushing attack, and was the primary protector of the blind side for our left-handed quarterback, Michael Penix. Now, after a grueling knee injury this past season that sidelined him for the entire season, the 31-year-old has decided to step away. It's the end of an era for number 73, and today we're going to break down what his legacy and his absence and his replacement means for the offensive line and into the future. For 6 years, this man put on a Falcons jersey and went to war on that right side, facing admirable opponents, game in, game out. And for people who don't know, before y'all scroll past and say, well, that's just the offensive lineman, I need y'all to understand something. First of all, we're not just talking about any lineman. We're not talking about any lineman position. We're talking about the offensive tackle, the blind side. And regardless of what's going on with your franchise, that's that one position you never want to skip or shortchange yourself on. It is the insurance policy for the franchise's most expensive asset. If you shortchange yourself in this position, you aren't just risking bad play. You're risking the health of your quarterback and the viability of your entire season. Now, before the 1980s, the left tackle or the right tackle was just another big guy on the line. That changed when LT, Lawrence Taylor of the New York Giants, came into the league. Now, Taylor was so fast and violent off the edge that he single-handedly forced NFL coaches, most notably Joe Gibbs of the Redskins, to change how they built their teams. To stop a game record like Taylor, teams realized they needed an elite athlete who was as large as a mountain but had the footwork of a ballerina. Now, that mindset shifted the left tackle position from a labor position to a premium position in the NFL draft and that salary cap. Now, unlike guards or centers who have help on either side of them, the left tackle or right tackle often operates on an island by themselves. They have the most space to cover, the least amount of help. Now, this is a massive drop-off between an elite left tackle, right tackle, into a serviceable one. But in the NFL, the clock never stops. Within hours of Kaleb McGary's announcement, general manager Ian Cunningham and the front office went right to work. With 2 left-handed quarterbacks in Michael Penix Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa needing an elite protection on that blind side, that right side, the Falcons didn't waste any time. They didn't allow grass to grow under their feet. Enter Jawaan Taylor. Now, the Falcons have officially signed former Kansas City Chiefs offensive tackle Jawaan Taylor to a one-year deal. Now, we're going to dive into that, what that means for the chemistry of the Great Wall of Flowery Branch, and answer some very important questions that's surrounding Mr. Jawaan Taylor. Number one, can Taylor clean up his act with these penalties that follow him in KC? Number two, how does this shift our strategy for the upcoming 2026 NFL draft, where we currently don't have a first-round pick? Now, a lot of us speculate that with one of our picks that we're going to go after an offensive lineman in the draft. Do we still think that way, or is Jawaan Taylor our answer at right tackle? Number three, and most importantly, how do Penix and Tua feel about their new bodyguard? Now, Mr. Jawaan Taylor, he's not just a camp body, and this is not a depth signing. This is a starting caliber veteran offensive tackle with 2 Super Bowl rings on his fingers. This signing was no accident. This is the front office having a contingency plan ready. Ian and War Room, they were not caught off guard. They had this in their hip pocket, and the second McGary made his decision, they pulled the trigger. Now, it's a bittersweet day as we say goodbye to a fan favorite and hello to a championship caliber veteran. But right now, guys, in the meantime, in between time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You're locked into the Atlanta Falcons Fandemic. What are you waiting on? I mean, don't cost a thing. Stay tuned to the Fandemic. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss an opportunity to keep vibing with me. Now, I really appreciate everyone's support. So let's go ahead and continue this dive into Mr. Jawaan Taylor. All right. For the folks who don't know Mr. Jawaan Taylor, his story, and honestly, you should, because this man has been one of the most consistently starting offensive linemen in the entire NFL. Let me break that down. Let's go all the way back. We're going to go all the way back to Cocoa, Florida. A small city on the Space Coast, about 45 minutes east of Orlando. That's where Jawaan Taylor grew up. He went to Cocoa High School, big kid, athletic, the kind of prospect that catches everyone's attention real fast. Now, here's something that I love about this. Taylor originally, I really actually don't love it, or didn't love it, rather. Taylor originally committed to the University of Miami, and then he flipped his commitment to the Florida Gators. Now, I know we got some Florida State people in here, some Florida Gators fans in here, and I see you, but stay with me here because this flips everything. It changes everything. Because at the University of Florida, Jawaan Taylor became a starter his freshman year, true freshman year, in 2016. And as a freshman on the offensive line, that's rare. That's rare in college football. You don't just walk into an SEC competition as an 18-year-old and start at an offensive tackle unless you are built different. He spent 3 seasons in Gainesville, 2016, 17, and 18. And he developed into one of the most physically imposing and technically refined offensive line prospects in the country. And after his junior year, he made his decision. He made the call that he was ready for the NFL draft. Skipped his senior year and declared for the 2019 NFL draft. Now, here we are, 2019 draft, and this is where the story gets interesting because of the timing. The Atlanta Falcons are on the clock at number 23, 31. They take Kaleb McGary, right tackle, University of Washington. 4 picks later, 35th overall, second round. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock, and they take Jawaan Taylor, right tackle, University of Florida. Now, the Falcons took Gary at 31. The Jaguars took Jawaan Taylor at 35. These two men were drafted within 4 picks of each other, both right tackles. Both one going to the NFC, one going to the AFC. Now, 7 years later, Taylor is coming to Atlanta to replace McGary. Now, man, if this ain't a full circuit moment, I don't know what is. Now, Taylor gets to Jacksonville, and the Jaguars start him immediately, earning a spot on the Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie Team in 2019. And from that point on, for 4 straight seasons in Jacksonville, every single regular season game started at right tackle. Never missed a game. That sound familiar? Because that's exactly what Kaleb McGary was doing the same here in Atlanta. These two men were mirrors of each other. But when Taylor hit free agency after the 2022 season, the Kansas City Chiefs came calling, and Brett Veach, their GM, didn't blink. He wrote the man a 4-year, $80 million contract. That's the kind of money you pay for a franchise cornerstone. But like I was saying earlier, that blind spot, that blind side blocker, or the tackles, offensive tackles, period, have their own market when it comes to salary cap and wages. But in his very first season wearing red and gold, Jawaan Taylor won a Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs won over the San Francisco 49ers. Taylor got a ring. The man has been to the promised land not once, but twice. They went back the following year, and the Eagles embarrassed everybody that day. But Taylor was there again, 2 consecutive Super Bowls and 2 seasons as a Chief. Now, here's where the road got bumpy. 2025 season. Taylor battled through a knee issue, but kept playing. Then on December 20th, on 2025, he goes down with an elbow injury. They put him on injured reserve, and his season was over. On March 4th, 2026, just about a month ago, the Kansas City Chiefs released him. Not because they didn't like the player, but because his cap hit was over $72 million in 2026, or $27 million. When you had a down season and you're rebuilding, and when I say down season, I mean the Kansas City Chiefs as a whole, that number becomes an impossible to justify $27 million against the salary cap. So Jawaan Taylor entered free agency at 28 years old. 28. That's not old for an offensive lineman, y'all. These guys peak in their late 20s and early 30s. He had teams interested, and then today, McGary retires. Atlanta calls, and within an hour, it's done. $5 million. Now, let's talk about that contract, because this is where I actually want to give the front office some credit. 1 year, $5 million, up to $1 million in incentive. So worst case scenario, $5 million. Best case scenario, $6 million if Taylor hits every incentive clause. And I'm going to count on him getting that $6 million because Bill Callahan is going to have him right where he needs to be on that blind side. This man was making $30 million a year in Kansas. The Chiefs were paying him $27 million in a cap space for 2026. The Falcons get him for $5 million. Now, Ian Cunningham must have sold this young man on a vision, because I'm pretty sure quite a few teams would have came calling if we had waited. But like I said, Ian Cunningham didn't let the grass grow under his feet. He went to work immediately. Now, this is not just a bargain deal, guys. This is what happens when a team has cap space and a clear need, and the patience to let the market come to them. The Chiefs cleared Taylor to save cap. Atlanta picked up the phone. We got a starting caliber Super Bowl winning 111 game starter for $5 million on a 1-year deal. And to make the deal even sweeter, Ian is literally cooking this offseason. The retiring release of Kaleb McGary gives Atlanta $14 million back in cap space for 2026 and 2027. Now, are we starting to see what the 2027 NFL draft season is going to look like for Atlanta? This is smart football. This is smart general managing at its best. Is that a word? Is that a title, general managing? But here's the reality check, guys. You guys know I got to come with the reality check. Let's consider his strength, his pros and his cons, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here, as always, I don't blow smoke, and I'm not going to tell you that Jawaan Taylor is Kaleb McGary. That would be lying to your face, and I don't do that. McGary was genuinely one of the better run blocking tackles in the league when healthy. The Falcons love to run the ball. That's who we are. Bijan Robinson going between the tackles is beautiful football. McGary was a big part of why that works. And in terms of pure run blocking, Taylor is a downgrade. I'm telling you that up front. But here's what Taylor does bring that we are desperately in need of: pass protection. Perfect size at 6'5", 330 pounds with 35-inch long arms. The man is a plus pass protector. Always has been. Going back to Jacksonville, his first calling card was keeping the quarterback clean. And when you're protecting a left-handed quarterback, keeping that right side clean on his passing downs is not an option. It is the job. And this is where Taylor is going to earn his money. Now, I also need to address the elephant in the room, because some of y'all have already been in my comment section, in my box, talking about the penalties. And yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Jawaan Taylor led the entire league in penalties during his time with Kansas City Chiefs. 49 flags in 3 seasons. Mostly false starts. Mostly lining up off the line. It got to the point where the Chief fans were losing their minds about it, and honestly, it was fair. Among Chiefs fans, he is known as the drive destroyer, the drive killer. In fact, in one game, ironically, against his former team, he was flagged and penalized for 5 penalties, 2 false starts, 2 holding penalties, and 1 lining up too deep into the backfield. This is the very reason why Kaleb was so important to us. Even against formidable talent, Kaleb held his own and kept penalties to a minimum. Now, we're going to take a look at Jawaan Taylor's PFF card, courtesy of PFF. Jawaan Taylor earned a 53.3 overall PFF grade in 2025, and that was 80th among 89 qualified offensive tackles. Not a good standard. He played 760 offensive snaps on the season. His PFF grade of 67.3 ranked 49th among 89 qualified offensive tackles. His run blocking grade of 43.8 ranked 88th at the position. Wow, that's really not good. But at the same time, we have an upgrade if we continue to use Charlie Warner with that, right? So that should improve. He allowed 20 total pressures in pass protection. That total included 3 sacks, 5 hits, and he was flagged for 13 penalties over the course of the season. Not a very impressive card, right? But at least for that year. But I'm going to err and say that he played a lot of that injured, right? And I mean, it's not a fair grade, but at the same time, he's one of the better offensive tackles in the league. But here's the context. And this is the reason why I'm going to be fair about this, right? In Jacksonville, before he got to Kansas City, Taylor was penalized, but not an outlandish rate. To better understand, he wasn't penalized that much. Only 10 penalties in 4 seasons. But something changed when he got to Kansas City. Whether it was scheme, coaching, the pressure of the offense, or just bad habits that formed. Something that made that number explode. 16 penalties alone in 2023. Alone. 9 of which were false starts. Now, to Jawaan's credit, everyone knows how Patrick Mahomes likes to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer than he needs to try and extend plays. But both Tua and Michael Penix both have quick reads and even quicker releases. And now he's coming to Atlanta to work under Bill Callahan, one of the best offensive line coaches in all of football. So finally, maybe he'll get the correction that he needs to clean up his act, clean up his game. If anyone can clean up his techniques and issues, fix that footwork, and iron out his lining up problem, is Callahan. So I'm not worried about the penalties the way I'll be if Taylor was going to a team without a quality O-line coach. Now, at the end of the day, we needed an experienced starting tackle. We needed a pass protector. We needed a veteran body on that right side so Tua or Penix isn't going to get killed on the throwing motion. And we got all of that in a 1-year deal for $5 million on the same day we found out McGary was gone. Now, that's not a perfect move, but it was a smart move. It's not the flashiest move, but to me, it was the perfect move. Perfect. All right, Pandemic, let's go ahead and land this plane. Kaleb McGary gave us 6 years, 92 starts, and everything he had on that field. He went down protecting his team and going out as a Falcon, period. We appreciate him. We honor him. He's part of the fabric of this franchise. And now, Jawaan Taylor puts on his black, red and black. He comes in with a Super Bowl ring, 111 consecutive starts, and something to prove after getting cut in Kansas City. Those are dangerous weapons. A hungry veteran with experience, a chip on his shoulder, and 5 million reasons to show everybody they were wrong about him. Now, I'm cautiously optimistic. I need to see him healthy. I need to see him see his knee and that elbow. Need to see both of those hold up through training camp and the preseason. I need to see Callahan work his magic on cleaning up his penalties. But the potential is there. The upside on a 1-year, $5 million deal, that's a steal. That's a deal. The blind side of the most important left-handed quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history. We did not leave it empty, not for a single day. What do y'all think about this Taylor signing? Was this the move there, or did the front office miss? Drop your comments in the comment section. I want this hot take. Your opinions matters here on the Fandemic, and that's what the community is built for, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Share this episode if you rock with it. And as always, find us on social media, Instagram, at Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We are in every comment section trying to keep the conversation going. And finally, guys, into the rest of the NFC and the NFL, don't sleep on those Falcons. One move at a time. We coming. Rise up. We out.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's your boy E-Man. Falcons Fandemic, we on that plan. All the hype in the city, let me break it down. Atlanta Falcons, wear the crown.